SOS and their stock split plans. What's going on?
So SOS has, recommended that, shareholders approve a 9-to-1 stock split at their upcoming AGM set for next month. So what does this mean? If you own 1,000 SOS shares, and let us say the price is trading at $9 for argument's sake, that means you have $9,000 worth of shares. Under the stock split, you would have now 9,000 shares, which would then be valued at $1 per share. So the way a stock split works is that the number of shares increases, but the price comes down to match that adjustment factor. So, they've been the most recent company to have gone through a stock split, because we'd have seen Fastwitch last year have a stock split 10-to-1, which helped facilitate their massive shareholder base increase alongside the overall growth in the stock price. And you also saw Palace Amusement have a stock split this year of 600-to-1. So stock splits aren't necessarily anything new, but in the case of SOS, this is, it's to facilitate greater liquidity in the stock for two reasons. One, we tend to have a psychological perception in Jamaica of, when stock prices reach parity double-digit prices, we believe that, it's expensive. So you've seen similar cases for, different junior market stocks over the years, where as soon as they reach double-digit prices, they have a stock split and bring the prices back down to the single-digit region. So in the case of SOS, and announced to the news, stock price shot up 32%, by next day, then, shot up again, next is 34 something, 34.90, I believe was a new peak. And it's come back down to like $21 today, like one of the worst performing stocks for today. So some persons that have been exiting at some significant gains at the $34 range and coming down. And some persons right now are just holding on to some heavy losses. But with the company's current growth path, new partnerships, one mentioning Cayman, one mentioning Trinidad and Tobago, the potential for the stock price growth should be interesting. And the person is asking, how do I qualify for a stock split? Once you own at least one share prior to the split date, you qualify for the stock split. Similar case for even a rights issue APO, there's a special pool in that instance.
Very, very interesting. So all right. So we saw that reaction from the market, sending the price up and coming down. What are the expectations come July when shareholders make that decision?
Well, if you actually look at the prior history, and I would say prior referring to the last probably 5 years, what you tend to see is that as soon as the split is actually executed, in terms of the price being split, so you have an X-split date when the price is split, and you have a record date when the additional shares apply to your account. So what you tend to see is between the X-split date and the record date, the price tends to shoot up to the moon. So like Palace, for example, that was split to like $3 something, I went to $7 something within 2 days. But that was on only 1 out of 600 shares prior to the additional shares being allocated to the account. So, once you see the stock rate approved and you're seeing that date come up for, the stock split, that's when you're actually going to see, more movement around the stock. You're seeing a significant amount of movement now that have value being traded, but you're going to see a lot more once the stock actually is approved by shareholders, which is likely going to be the case. And, then you're going to see that further run up again closer to the actual date of the stock split.
Do we know when that date is yet?
No. So they had put the split date as the AGM date, and I said, no, that's not how it works. You cannot have the split date on the record date on the AGM date. The AGM has to precede the actual event. You at least follow the same T+2 process. So in the LGI appearance earlier with Jermaine and Alan McDaniel, I said they're going to put a new release amendment tomorrow. So the AGM is supposed to be July 25, but the actual split date, that might change.
Okay, well, that's definitely one for us to keep our eye on. SOS also has a number of things that they are working on. I actually did record a video about that today, so look out for that either later this week or early next week about some developments with SOS. Thanks, David. Always a pleasure speaking with you. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Fast Rich in terms of the
Well, I saw a
company?
question here about Fast Rich. So Lloyd said, "What's happening with Fast Rich stocks? It fell from $4.16 to $2.28 in less than 6 months."
Well, it's a multitude of factors. So, persons were anticipating the rice issue that, has been delayed. You would have also seen whereby there was the premature exit of SSL as a top 10 shareholder of Fosrich, which would have added a lot of excess shares to the market. And you'd have also just seen, persons readjusting their portfolios. Fosrich made some significant so many persons last year. So as persons were just, rebalancing their portfolio to take advantage of different opportunities in the market. And, at the AGM last week, they mentioned that because SSL was terminated as a JSE broker, they're trying to create a carve through for the partial shareholders who held their shares, with SSL at the time. So while they're at the JCSD, they're currently in escrow and they can't actually access their shares. So FSC has screwed every transaction, and FSC hasn't updated any of the clients who have followed up on the whole matter. So that's just a quick synopsis of all things going on with Fastrich. But they're continuing to focus on their overall business expansion plans. USA plan to do 20 billion in revenue and 20 billion in net profits by 2027. So, they're still maintaining their own plans, but related to the stock price, a lot of things going on.
Yeah, a lot of things indeed going on with Fosrich. It was almost a year now that Mr. Foster came on this show and told us about the rights issue. Here we are still in limbo because of the whole SSL drama and what's been going on there. And as it relates to the stock price, Lloyd, remember the whole market is down as well. So, and then Fosrich would have been double hit by everything else that's going on with SSL and the delay in their rights issue and all of that. All right.
Any other comments in the chat, Kalilah?
Say that again?
Any other comments in the chat?
No, I think that was about it. Let me see. There was one from Aline regarding market activities that he says, I always think when I say Aline, I think Aline the singer over and over. So my bad, Aline. Anyway, SSL was a top 10 shareholder, and then the anticipation around them, SSL also depreciated the stock price to $250 when they sold at a discount. Yeah. So that's basically it. Thank you once again, David. Hope you feel better soon, by the way.